At 30,000 feet above an ocean polished by moonlight into something more like rippled metal than water, Flight A27 was supposed to be forgettable, a red eye quietly stitching two coasts together while most of its passengers slept. In the rear galley, rookie flight attendant Lena checked her watch and rehearsed her landing announcement, soothed by the soft chorus of snores, movie murmurs, and the steady hum of engines, unaware that the flight already looked wrong on someone else's screen. In the coastal control center, where the night smelled of coffee and warm electronics, Controller Harris watched A27's green icon drift a few miles off its assigned airway with no request. A27 Center, confirm on planned route, he said into his headset. After a pause that lasted 2 beats too long, the captain replied, Center, A27 maintaining 300, we're seeing some minor anomalies on our instruments, stand by, and static swelled over the end like a crowd whispering at the edge of hearing. In the cabin, reality slipped half a notch. Overhead lights along the aisle began to pulse faintly instead of glowing steady. A slow rhythm no switch controlled. A boy by the window tugged Lena's sleeve and showed his tablet, compass spinning in lazy circles. An older man in 14A pressed his call button to ask if they'd changed course because the stars aren't where they were. Lena gave the standard reassurance, but when she lifted the interphone, the handset buzzed once before she dialed, as if someone was already listening on the other side. In the cockpit, the instrument panel bathed Captain Reeves and First Officer Malik in green and amber. Altitude and heading digits jittered by a few units, then snapped back like a heart skipping and correcting. Malik's finger traced the abnormal procedures checklist, inner ear whispering of tiny nose dips the screens didn't show. We should declare get vectors back now, he said. Reeves didn't look up. Last time I called a mayday on instruments, maintenance found nothing. You don't wash that off your record? He answered, pride holding the yoke. Harris replayed the last transmission through small speakers. Under minor anomalies, something else moved. A blurred cadence like speech dragged backward through water. The analyzer called it static. The skin on his arms disagreed. Ask Fuel and Souls, his supervisor said. Reeves gave clean numbers, then added, almost casually, we'll be switching over soon. Switching to who? A27? Harris asked. The reply was a wet crackle and then wide, empty silence. In the cabin, ordinary frayed. The baby who'd slept since takeoff now screamed without pause. A woman in 22F pressed her palms to the sidewall, insisting she heard a man talking inside there. A businessman stared at the fasten seatbelt sign like it was a countdown. Lena walked the aisle collecting theories. Electrical fire, terrorists, pilot sick, then tried the cockpit again. Reeves picked up instantly. Cabin secure, no more calls, he said. Each word clipped, and behind him she heard half a swallowed syllable that might have been, we're not alone. Malik watched the standby attitude indicator, the analog circle every pilot secretly trusted. Show the tiny horizon tip, settle, tip again. Captain, this isn't noise. We're not stable, he said, reaching for the mic, Mayday ready on his tongue. Their headsets filled with a sound like a roomful of people inhaling at once, and a clear, toneless voice that belonged to neither of them said, you're off the path. Reeves flinched, knuckles whitening. Interference, he snapped, too fast. A27, say again last, Harris said, though he knew no one on his frequency had spoken those words. 13 seconds later, Reeves transmitted the line that would outlive everyone on shift. Center, A27. We see the lights now. They're not where they should be. The waveform carried a layered murmur underneath. Some swore they heard pull up, others overlapping breaths, others nothing. Clarify, A27. What lights? Harris demanded. Nothing answered. On radar, A27's icon held at 30,000 feet for 3 more sweeps. Then nothing. In the cabin, passengers felt a gentle forward tug like the first inch of a drop, then unnatural stillness. Outside, the ocean lost its glitter. Without moonlight, it became a single black plate fused with the sky. The PA chimed. Ladies and gentlemen, you may feel something you don't understand. It will be brief, Reeves said. And for one heartbeat, a faint choral undercurrent rode his words, then cut. The next radar sweep showed empty air where the dot had been. No descent, no debris, no beacon. Reports would later call it loss of aircraft over water, 'cause undetermined. But the controllers kept replaying that last comm line about lights out of place, and Lena, on every future flight, paused with her hand over the interphone, listening for a preemptive buzz. For anyone who ever heard those final words at 30,000 feet, the most unsettling thought was not that a plane could disappear, but that the sky might quietly rearrange its pattern for a heartbeat, just long enough to swallow them, then slide back as if nothing had moved at all. Subscribe and hit the like button for more interesting episodes.